Sorry, I literally did like my whole YouTube entrance, and then it was like it said scheduled up in the corner, and I was like, scheduled? What the heck? I thought I hit the go live button. I was talking and everything, and then I realized I didn't hit the go live button. I'm the worst. Either I talk when I'm on mute or do something goofy. Hey, Pam. I shouldn't have wore this sweatshirt because I am really, really hot right now. I might have to get up and change my shirt to like tank top. It is like really hot in this room. I feel like I'm about to like spontaneously combust. Give me 1 second. Hey, Parker. Let me change my shirt. Star Wars it is. All right. Okay. Sorry. I was really hot. Isn't it cute? It was a lot. So I wanted this like cheap chair. And then hubby was like, no, you're getting a Respawn. They're like really expensive gaming chairs. And I was like, it's like, I know if you don't buy it. Or he's like, I know you won't buy it, so I'm just going to buy it for you. So I was like, whatever. Ugh, I need to stop looking at my hair. It looks greasy. Hold on 1 second. I didn't have that much time to get ready. I was like, I should put like dry shampoo on. All right. I'm gonna put my glasses on because I'm gonna have to be reading some documents. I am sick. I didn't even get to watch the press conference really because I was at the mall. Has everyone seen the press conference? Like, do you want me to play it or should I just read the indictment? What do y'all think? All right, let me look up the indictment real quick. Yeah, read the indictment. Okay, I agree. But I'm just so sick over this. For people who may not know what's going on, Leilani Simon, Quentin Simon's mom, was indicted on malice murder charges in the death of Quentin Simon. They believe that she hit him or struck him with a weapon and caused severe pain to him and suffering. Hey, Boston Nick, how are you? It's gross, and I just seriously despise anybody who can throw their own child, hurt their own child that way, and throw their own child into hey Paul, into a dumpster. I mean, any mother who can throw their own child into a dumpster, that can kill their child and throw their own child into a dumpster, is on the same level as, you know, people who do sick shit with kids to me. You know what I mean? Like, you're that sick if you could throw your own kid in a dumpster, kill your kid and throw him in a dumpster. Hey, Nate. I'm just so sick over it. I really am. Hey, True Texan. Hey, Abra. I know. I'm really praying that Zane didn't see anything either. It's horrible. Okay. I have it up. I'll see. I don't know how big I'll be able to make it, so let's see. It won't get any bigger, so I'll just have to do it like this. I will read it out loud in case you guys can't see. I don't know why it won't get any bigger. Like, I tried to do like a zoom in thing and it won't work. So it says count 1, malice murder. All right, so let me explain what an indictment is real quick. So normally you would, when going to like trial, there'd be a pretrial hearing where the evidence is presented in court to a judge, and the defense attorney and the prosecutor can kind of like go back and forth. And then the judge decides if there's enough evidence to go to trial. Well, sometimes they do indictments. A lot of times they do indictments when there's children involved, or they don't want the person to know that they are indicting them, or if there's like a minor witness or something. So it's kind of like they do it in secret. They meet together in secret in a group, like a jury and a judge. Hold on one second. And they meet in secret and they present, everything they have. And then they decide if it's enough to go to trial. And this is definitely enough. Sorry, I need my nose spray. Give me a second. So then they decide if it is enough to go to trial, and it's usually much easier to. It's pretty much the same thing as a preliminary hearing, but in secret. And they decide if it's enough to go to trial, and this is obviously enough to go to trial. So, but there's a saying that you can indict a ham sandwich. Like, that's how easy it is. But I think it's more so probably they went this way because of all of the craziness surrounding this case, and because they probably didn't want to tip off Leilani, and because there's children involved that are minors. So I'm assuming that's why they went this route for sure. Sometimes they just do it because it's easier too. Like, it's faster and whatever. All right, so count 1, malice murder, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon the offense of malice murder. For that, the said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham and state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did unlawfully with malice aforethought. So malice is like the hold on, I'll explain malice murder before I do this, but malice murder is pretty much like premeditated murder. It's with forethought, which is premeditated. Malice is the intention or desire to do evil. So you had an intention to do something bad, like you intended to do it. It was premeditated. Malice murder is a serious charge. You can be put to death for malice murder. I mean, it's probably not going to happen that way, but you can. You could either do malice murder usually gets life in prison without parole, or the death penalty. But I doubt it's uncommon for the death penalty. But they knew Quentin was in the landfill from the beginning because they have her on video dumping him in the dumpster at the trailer park. Well, that's what they told Billy Joe, her mother. So, but malice murder. So if you put hold on, let me find the website so I can explain it a little better. But basically, like, sometimes murders is like provoked, where like an adult can attack another adult and then, they murder them back. But when it comes to a child, it's completely unprovoked. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing a child can do that can provoke a grown human to kill them. You know what I mean? So it is applicable when someone causes the death of another person that is deemed to be unlawful and intentional. Relative to murder, the term malice is considered to imply a clearly deliberate intent to kill, void of any legal justification for taking of a life. A person commits the offense of murder when he unlawfully, with malice and forethought, which premeditate it, either expressed or implied, causes the death of another human being. Express malice is that deliberate intention unlawfully to take the life of another human being, which is manifested by external circumstances capable of proof. Malice shall be implied where no considerable provocation appears, and where all circumstances of the killing show an abandoned and malignant heart. So, I think in some states there's even clauses where, if even if you murder a child under a certain age, it's like, it's immediately first degree because of even their age. Yeah, Ellie did a great job with this case, despite all the hecklers heckling them for no reason. They knew what they were doing. Okay, so the cops had a case from day one from the video that they had, but they wanted the body too because that way there was no way she could get out of this. For instance, if they just had her on video throwing him out and her lying about it, that would have been probably a decent case for them to get it. But she could argue I was just throwing out trash or something of the other, but now they actually have her throwing it out, and probably in some certain bag or whatever, and then they found him with that certain bag or certain tub or whatever she used, so they can end in that particular landfill where that trash goes. So now they can place her with his body, not just trash, with his body. So now they have a very good case against her, which I think she will never get out of this one, in my opinion. I mean, that's if you have somebody on camera and then you have the body from that particular landfill, I mean, they have a great case against her. And I do not think she'll get out of this at all. Okay, so she unlawfully, with malice and forethought, caused the death of her son, Quentin Simon, a human being, in a manner unknown to the grand jury at this time, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. And the jurors count 2, felony murder. So we have malice murder and felony murder. And jurors aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of felony murder, for that the said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham and the state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 22nd, 2022, did commit the offense of aggravated assault in violation, a felony, in that the accused did make an assault upon the person of her son, Quentin Simon, with an object that, when used offensively against the person, did result in serious bodily injury. The nature of the object being unknown to the grand jury at this time, and the accused did, in the commission of this offense, cause Quentin's death, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. So they're basically saying that she hit him with an object that caused him to die, and they figured he was dead very early on, and for them to say that, they usually have to have some pretty damning evidence. So I kind of do believe that maybe they found some blood with the luminol, or like blood spatter or something of that nature, or a lot of blood loss or something, for them to make that conclusion. And I'm sure I have heard that he was more intact than he wasn't like crunched up by how they have in landfills. They like crunch up the trash. He was found pretty intact, and I'm sure they probably can tell by fractures and things of that nature too. So, hold on one second. Okay. They don't know what she used at this time, so they don't know like a weapon. I guess they don't have, but it does sound like she abused him. And I'm just gonna say this: I don't think this is probably. I doubt this is the first time that she did this to him. If we're at this point, like I feel like there had to probably be some incidents before then. And yeah. So I don't I wish we knew like what they know, but I would really think that they probably have some luminol findings or something like that that show, so they can tell by blood spatter if something was hit at like a high velocity, or like for instance, um Murdaugh, he had high velocity blood spatter on his shirt, and that's one of like evidence they're using against him in the killings of his family, where you could tell by the way the blood spatter is if somebody was hit really hard, or so I feel like they probably have blood, or some like fractures or something to go along with their theory. All right, so count 3. And now, mind you, they're going to hit her with every charge, because if they can't get one charge, then they will go for another, or they will go for like lower charges, or all of them. But they usually do purposely overcharge, so that if they can't agree on malice murder, they'll at least agree on felony murder. But I think they do have a very strong case for malice murder. One, because previous incidents with CPS, things like that. Probably several witnesses. I'm sure they probably have witnesses that are going to testify that she abused them. Things of that nature too. So yeah, the whole family has a record a mile long for sure. Yeah, she needs to never see the light of day for sure. She's sick to me. Like seriously, like I said, people who that are capable of killing their child in that way and throwing their own child in a dumpster is on the same level as people who do sick shit to kids. Like, I hope she gets everything that's coming to her too, for sure. I was sick today hearing about this. I had a feeling it was going to be really bad, though. I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be pretty. I didn't think it was an accident ever, or anything like that. All right, so count 3, felony murder. And the jurors aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of felony murder. For that, the said Leilani Marie Simon, in the county of Chatham and state of Georgia, on or about the 5th day of October 2022, did commit the offense of cruelty to a child in the first degree in violation of OCGA 16570, in that the accused did maliciously cause her son, Quentin Simon, a human being and a child under the age of 18 years, cruel and excessive physical pain in a manner unknown to the grand jury at this time. And the accused did, in the commission of this offense, cause Quentin's death contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. So they definitely saw some kind of evidence that made them believe that she did this. Like I said, blood or fractures or something of that nature. But first degree cruelty to a child in the first degree means she, wasn't like some random thing. It was she knew exactly what she was doing. Exactly, true Texan. Satan has a special place for these folks. Concealing the all right, so the next one is count 4, concealing the death of another. And the juries aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia, further charge and accuse Leilani Marie Simon with the offense of concealing the death of another. For that, the said Leilani Marie Simon in the county of Chatham in the state of Georgia on or about the 5th day of October 2022 did unlawfully conceal the death of her son, Quentin Simon, by discarding him in a dumpster at Azalea Mobile Home Plaza, which hindered the discovery of whether Quentin was unlawfully killed, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, and the peace and dignity thereof. So because she put him in a dumpster, it made them harder to get his body and know exactly, okay, hey, Sarah, that's fine. Can't wait to see it, girl. But yeah, hindered, knowing how he was killed because she put him in a dumpster and it took a while for them to find him, which is, I could not even believe that they did find him because it's literally like finding a needle in a haystack. That's really hard to do. If you see the size of that landfill, I can't believe that they found him. They did such a good job on this case all the way around, and I really just give it to Chief Hadley. And I really like this DA that spoke at the press conference. She was really confident. She hit all the right things, said all the right words. I have a lot of faith in her for sure. All right, count 5. So these are all okay, falsehoods on October 5th. So she lied a lot, and they're getting her for pretty much every lie. Yep, kudos to the cops and the DA. Yeah, I agree, Pointer Lover. I thought the same thing. I thought she hit him with some. I thought it was going to be just like I figured it was going to be bad like this. All right, so false report of a crime. I'm going to skip all that beginning part of in the name of false report of a crime, Leilani Marie Simon. I'm going to skip that and just read the end where it explains what happened. She did willfully and knowingly give a false report of a crime to Chatham County Police Department, a law enforcement agency of the state, by implying that Quentin Simon had been abducted by an unknown intruder, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. So she beat him, killed him, dumped him in a dumpster, then told the police that somebody came and took him from the home. I don't think the boyfriend knew anything personally. From what I saw, it seemed like in the pictures and everything that Danny was pretty close with the kids. I don't think he was like an amazing human being. I believe he was still in active addiction and all that. But I think if they even thought for a second that he was involved at all, that he would be charged or charged in some way. I think they probably have text messages. Like, for instance, Leilani could have messaged him and said, hey, tell the babysitter that Quentin's not coming today after he left for work already. You know what I mean? I'm sure they have some kind of text messages or whatever. And it's even now, I'm not crazy about the babysitter either, but even the babysitter said that when dealing with the children, Leilani never answered the phone or called or really did anything, but Danny was at least helpful, Make sure you say. Oh, yeah. So I also all right, for instance, it's probably they probably know that it was intentional because if he was struck more than one time, so if it's if in a fit of rage, if she had hit him one time and he died, that's one thing. But if she hit him multiple times, it takes thought to do it multiple times. So if he was struck multiple times and they can prove that, that will prove that it wasn't in a fit of rage and that there was thought behind it, because you have to take that second to you know, I honestly think people wanted, like, Danny to be guilty of this because nobody wanted to think Leilani, like, did it, but I just don't think Danny's involved personally, and I think the police are pretty thorough, and if they thought that for any reason that he would be in trouble. But if you look at her Facebook and the pictures, Danny seems to be, like, cuddling with them in every picture. She's not in many pictures with them, but he seems to be, the one giving the kids attention in all the pictures, and he seemed to be the one who cared about, sending stuff to the babysitter, being the one, like, it seemed like he was the one who spoke to the babysitter, probably because Leilani probably didn't like her if they had issues before, so she probably made him be the person to talk to her. And if that's the case, then she probably texted him and said, "Hey, tell the babysitter he's not coming today." You know what I mean? If he was like the contact person, then I could see that, and they might have proof of that. So I think she tried to heavily make it look like Danny was involved, but it says on October 5th, she discarded him in the early morning hours. So I think this is after Danny left, or they would have, you know, got him on something. In my opinion, why let the man go? They have enough proof without him that she did this. They didn't need him. You got what I'm saying? Like, they don't need him as a witness. Yeah, sure, it will help, but they had enough proof without having him as a witness. So I just don't think he's involved. I really don't. But I think, like, probably Billy Joe and them really wanted to believe that he had something to do with it, because she wanted to cast less blame on her daughter, because any mother would do that. And I'm sure Leilani was telling them that, like, or making them feel that way, All right, so count 6, making a false statement. She did knowingly and willfully make a false statement to Marianne Lemons of Chatham County Police Department and Bradford Snyder of the FBI, law enforcement officers engaged in lawful discharge of their official duties investigating the disappearance of Quentin Simon, a matter within the jurisdiction of Chatham County Police Department, a department of the government of this county, to investigate by having admitted that she had left her home in the late hours of October 4th, 2022, to meet her drug dealer, falsely stating that the purpose of this meeting was to pay an existing drug debt, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Now, I don't understand what they mean by false statement here. Makes me wonder if they think she was, like, scoping the dumpster out or something, or that she actually did go and get drugs and lied and said that she was going to pay a drug debt, maybe to make it look like the drug dealer could have been involved. I don't know. Okay, Nathan, I don't feel like she should be charged, and I do feel bad for her, and I can understand that people make mistakes, and this is just a terrible mistake by her, but I do agree that she could have done a better job at protecting her grandkids, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I do feel bad for her, and I don't think she should be charged, and I feel really bad that she's gonna have to live with this forever, and I think that's just enough. And I can't imagine what she's going through, because it's her own daughter and her grandkid. You know what I mean? It has to be probably the hardest thing ever that she's ever had to deal with. But I do think, of course, I think she could have done a better job. You know what I mean? Like, I think anyone can agree that she probably could have done a better job somehow. But I think she did try. You know what I mean? Like, I think she did try to protect him and do things to, do the best she could. But I do think, of course, I think she could have done a better job in some way. You know what I mean? There's no denying that. Like, I don't wanna say, "No, I think she did her absolute best." I think she did a really good job trying to protect them, but, like, of course, there's room for her to have done a better job, you know what I mean? It's a hard situation because I feel like a lot of people, when you have messed up children who are adults, you really hope that they are doing well or turning around, but I do think that maybe she could have thought she was doing better, but the signs were still there that she was a crappy mom. So, you know, I'm not really sure Pam Smith. I would have to see the custody agreement because there's like two kind of things saying that she wasn't supposed to, or that it wasn't a clause, she just had done it so that they didn't take the kids away. So I'm not really sure if there was a clause that she was not supposed to leave Quentin alone with her, but I would think maybe there was to a point because um I mean she did try to not ever leave her alone with him. You know what I mean? On all counts she tried. Like she had the babysitter during the day and Danny and Paul were there during the night. I don't really know much about Paul, but Danny, I'm sure, is in active addiction, so he's not, the greatest human being either. So I'm thinking maybe there was a clause, and that's why she tried to make sure there was always somebody there, which there was. You know what I mean? But um, I do believe maybe there was a very short time between when Danny left for work and maybe when the babysitter would come to pick up Quentin, that she would have them for like an hour or two. And I just don't think Leilani is a good mother at all, that she could even handle an hour or two with them before she lost her cool and probably hurt them. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of like a blurred thing. I don't really know. I'd have to see the court documents and the custody agreement. If anyone knows where that is, I would love to check it out because, then I could make a determination a little better. But um, I believe on all counts she tried, but I also believe that there was room for her to try harder. You know what I mean? It's like I don't fault her, but I do a little bit. I guess I can say. I mean, I don't know. I think here's my thing. I think a lot of people would say, "Oh, hey, I would have done this different. I would never leave my kid alone, let my kid be home alone with them or whatever." But sometimes, well, I think Queen was just asking someone for them and she said she would send them over. So, if she does have them, I'll check them out later. But uh I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't even want to imagine um what he went through either. I totally forget the point I was just about to make. What was I talking about? Oh, I know what I was saying. I think everyone would say, "Oh, I would never do that. I would never leave the babies alone with somebody who was in active drug addiction and who was like that." But it's easy to say, "No, it's okay, Len." It's easy to say if like it's easy just to say those things, but if you don't have the money or the means to do certain things, sometimes, people have to just do what they got to do, and, you know, not everything is so black and white where that can be like that all the time. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm sure not all like not everyone has the means to be able to do that all the time like they would hope they would do based on money situations and things like that. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Like, you would want to say, I would never do that. But I think there's always situations where you say that you would never do something, but you, like, if you don't have the particular means to do them in every way you can, then you have to make things work. You know what I'm saying? All right. I don't understand the drug debt thing. I'm thinking maybe because she actually did go buy drugs and she lied and said that she had to go pay drug debt, maybe to make it look like it had to do with that. I don't know. But, or maybe they think she was, like, scoping out the dumpster. I don't know. But she did have drugs in her system. She had fentanyl, coke, and oxy in her system. The jurors, okay, making a false statement, count 7. She did knowingly and willfully make a false statement to Marianne Lemons of Chatham County Police Department and Bradford Snyder of the FBI, law enforcement officers engaged in lawful discharge of their official duties, investigating the disappearance of Quentin Simon, a matter within the jurisdiction of Chatham County Police Department, a department of the government of this county, to investigate by falsely stating that the only controlled substance of which she was a regular user was marijuana. So she told them that she only used marijuana on a regular basis, when that's just not true. All her kids were born with cocaine in her system, I believe. She was on coke, oxy, and fentanyl at the time, so clearly that was not the case. I would really like to know, like, when she failed her drug tests, which I heard she did fail too in the past months before this happened, if Billy Joe knew about, like, if they by law had to tell Billy Joe about it, or if she could have just hid that from Billy Joe, or what, because that will, like, help me determine and if I feel like she could have, like, done more. Because if Billy Joe genuinely thought that she was doing better and cleaning her act up, then I can see, her feeling like a little more comfortable, giving her some leeway with the kids. But if she did know that, she had failed those 2 drug tests and was still using, then, maybe my mind would change. But I just really don't know, if because she's an adult, if Billy Joe was privy to those things or not. So I guess that's a big thing for me. Count 8, making a false statement. This one is stating that the only controlled substance she had used in the past 24 hours was marijuana, which was a lie because she had cocaine, fentanyl, and oxy in her system. Yeah, that's what I mean. If she knew about all the recent failed drug tests, then I feel like, she would have known that she wasn't doing better. You know what I mean? And that maybe she could have, like, then I'd be like, okay, well, then she knew she wasn't doing good, and that, she could have done more, you know what I mean? But if she was not privy to that information and Leilani was keeping that from her, then I could understand where Billy Joe may have thought that she was doing well and cleaning her act up. But I also think that it's pretty noticeable when people are in active addiction, but I don't know how long Billy Joe was gone at a time while she was away. So Billy Joe may not have known how she was acting or what she was doing, because she could have been gone for long periods of time and, wasn't seeing her. But how long did the eviction notice thing happen before this happened? That's another thing. I forget the date of that. Hold on a second. All right, hold on. All right, so now we have another making a false statement. She stated, in the early morning hours of October 5th, Now, this is when, all right, and this is another reason why I think Danny is not involved. And I think this is a good point. In the early morning hours of October 5th, she said she left the house to meet her friend Misty to obtain Orgel, a topical pain reliever, and that on this trip, she had in fact met Misty at a Chevron station and had obtained Orgel from her. Now, apparently, she just had teeth done, and she said that she was going to get Orgel from this woman, Missy. Yeah, addicts are good at hiding it, but it's hard to hide cocaine and fentanyl addiction for sure. You know, a pill addiction maybe, but cocaine and fentanyl not so much. So anyway, I think, like, first off, it's not really common for people to meet, like, to have a story like, oh, my friend was meeting me at 4 a.m. for Orgel. So I'm thinking maybe, this time was probably a little later in the day, like, like 7, 8 o'clock, saying, oh, um, I'm going to meet my friend for some Orgel. Hey, Hove. Yeah, I'll play in a bit once I'm done here. So it makes me think maybe it was like a little later, like 7, 8 o'clock. He went to work at like 5, 6 a.m. I think it was. So, how many people go to meet have a story to go meet somebody? I don't think she actually met this woman. I don't understand if she actually met her or not, because it says she went on this trip to meet Missy, and Missy's in quotes, so it makes me feel like Missy's a made up person. And that on this trip, the accused had in fact met Missy at a Chevron station. So really, we know at this time where she claimed she went to go meet Missy for Oragel, she had gone to the what's it called? The trailer park dumpster to dump Quentin. So I think that, it was probably, I feel like it was after Danny left, and she texted him and said, hey, like shortly after Danny left, she was probably tired, up all night, and Quentin probably went and woke her up, and she snapped. And God darn it. And I think she snapped, and then she went to cover it up and text him and said, oh, let the babysitter know, because he seemed like he was the main point of contact. The babysitter said Leilani never talked to her. It was always Danny. Danny was the one who would bring supplies or whatever. And it makes me think maybe that Leilani and the babysitter weren't really fond of each other, so he was the one who talked back and forth. So she probably texted him and was like, hey, tell the babysitter Quentin's not coming today. So then he probably, called the babysitter and said he's not coming. And I feel like the police probably have, I don't know this for sure, but I'm saying I feel like the police probably have that, written down, and they know that, this happened after he left, or they would have tried to charge him with something. That's just what I'm saying. If he was involved, I feel like they would have tried to get him with something for sure. So, am I missing anything? I think that's all of it. Is there more to this? I know that I feel like there's more to it that I'm missing, but. So this is the dumpster in front of the Azalea mobile home. It's the place where Leilani Simon's indictment says she dumped Quentin Simon's body, concealing the toddler's death, and lied to police about why she went there. So sick. I'm so sick over this. Look how cute he was. Like, how could you do that to a child that adorable? The 8-page indictment. So, let me see. It might be on here. Oh, here we go. Let's see if I missed anything. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there was more. I knew there was more. All right, so count 10, making a false statement. In the early morning hours of October 5th, 2022, she had in fact traveled to Azalea Mobile Home Plaza and there had discarded her son, Quentin Simon, in a dumpster, contrary to the laws of the state. So she didn't go to this Chevron. Fruit causes diabetes. Okay. I'm not eating fruit. Yeah, so she said she went to a Chevron station to meet Missy when really she was dumping her son in a dumpster. Okay, Jay. Count 11. And this is now she made more false statements on October 8th, I guess, when she was re-brought in for questioning. This time she said she admitted that she had left her home to meet her drug dealer in the late night hours of October 4th, falsely stating that the purpose of this meeting was to pay an existing drug debt. And then count 12 is that on the night of October 4th, she had used controlled substances contrary. So I guess she said she didn't use controlled substances, but she did. Count 13. Having admitted that she left her home in the early morning hours of October 5th, 2022, and had traveled to Azalea Mobile Home Plaza, falsely stating that the purpose of the trip was to meet her friend Misty to obtain Orgel, a topical pain reliever from Misty, and that on the trip, the accused had in fact met Misty at Azalea Mobile Home Plaza and had obtained Orgel from her. So now, this time, she said she met Misty at this mobile home place, but that was actually where, I guess this is when they were like, hey, we have you on camera at this mobile home. And then she was like, oh no, I was there meeting Misty. You know, count 14 is in the early morning hours of October 5th, 2022, at Azalea Mobile Home Plaza, she had discarded her son, Quentin Simon, in a dumpster, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia. So she said she didn't dump him there, and she did. And then there was more lies that she had on October 12th. I guess they brought her in for questioning again. And she basically said the same thing about obtaining Orgel from Misty at the mobile home. Okay, Ava. Count 16 is admitted that she had discarded something in the dumpster in the early morning hours of October 5th, falsely stating that all she had discarded was normal household garbage. So that's why they were so set on finding Quentin's body in the landfill, because she was already stating that she threw out some household garbage, and they really needed to tie that his body was in this landfill in the same thing that she used to dump him with. And now it'll be hard for her to find a way out of this, because it all lines up. He was probably found in that same bag or tote or whatever she threw out, and now they can say, okay, you were here at this time tossing your son in the trash. All right, so making a false statement, count 17. In the early morning hours, she discarded her son Quentin in a dumpster. She claimed that she was just throwing out trash. So, all right. So now we're on October 31st. Okay, by falsely stating that it was not the accused, but rather Dan Youngkin, who traveled away from the home in the early morning hours. So now she was trying to say that it wasn't her, it was Danny who did it on October 5th, which I'm sure they literally have her on camera. So I doubt, she could say it was Danny who did it. So now she's literally, first she admits early on, I went to go meet Misty. Then she said, yeah, waited too long to give that story. And that girl, I don't think Danny's involved. I really only because if you look at her Facebook, he is actually seems like he's in most of the pictures with the kids actually caring for them. And the babysitter said that he was kind of like their point of contact, that Leilani never called her or helped with anything, but Danny actually was the one who communicated with her. And I think they probably have Leilani texting Danny and saying, hey, let the babysitter know. Because it seemed like Leilani and the babysitter didn't like each other because of previous stuff. So they probably have her texting Danny and saying hey, let the babysitter know Quentin's not coming today. And I just feel like if he was involved or knew anything about it, she wouldn't be the one, doing that. I think she waited till he left because he left really early in the morning, and then I think she was probably left to her own devices with the kids for a few hours and couldn't handle it and snapped, and then panicked. But yeah, she waited way too long. I mean, she already had said I was at the mobile home and I threw out trash, and now she's trying to say Danny did it. So I don't know. I just don't. Yeah. But here's my I agree with that girl. I think that this is also my thing. I think they always had a lot to get her. And I feel like they really didn't need him as a witness. At least, I mean, maybe in the beginning they felt, but I feel like if they thought he was at all involved, even a little bit, that they would have tried to get him with something. I don't feel like they would have let him go scot free. Maybe made a deal for some lower charge, but not scot free for sure. And then here's another false statement on November 21st where she says she once again admitted that she, not Danny Youngkin, had left the home in the early morning hours of October 5th, 2022, and had traveled to Azalea Mobile Home Plaza, and having admitted that she had no contact there. And having admitted that she had no contact there with her friend Misty, falsely stating that she did not remember what she'd done there. Oh, so she changed it all around, saying she didn't remember conveniently. Yeah, I think the cops took it personally too. Yeah, she's trying to throw everyone under the bus though. That's the thing. She tried to throw Bubba under the bus. I mean, she threw everyone under the sun under the bus. The babysitter. I don't really care for the babysitter, but still, I mean, she tried to throw everybody under the bus, and I'm just sick over it. It's just like I said, I feel bad for Billy Joe, and I think she tried on all accounts to do her best with her situation and her living situation, and probably all the stuff that she was dealt with, and my mind might change a little bit if she did all right, if Leilani did fail the 2 past drug tests in the previous months, I don't know if, because Leilani's adult, if Billie Joe would have been privy to that information, but if she was privy to that information, then I feel like maybe she could have done more, but if she wasn't, then she may have just thought that Leilani was doing better, especially because she wasn't home and she was away, and she's supposedly very manipulative. But I think people will say, oh, I would have done things completely different, you know what I mean? But I don't think anyone can really say that until they're personally in that situation, because I think every parent wants their child to do good and grow up and be a good mom. Yeah, I agree that, girl. It's kind of hard. Like, all right, I can see how people hide like pill addictions, but I have a hard time believing that she did a good job hiding a cocaine, fentanyl, and oxy addiction. Like, she was on a lot of hard drugs, and that's really hard to hide. Um, so I guess, like, in my opinion, I think Billie Joe did a really good job. I feel like she tried on all accounts. Could she have done more? Maybe a little bit. You know what I mean? She probably could have done more to, I'm not going to lie and say that I don't think she could have done more, because I do on all counts think she probably could have done more. But I do think that she did try and that she made probably some mistakes, and she's going to deal with that enough, living with that forever, you know what I mean? Uh so I don't know. Yeah, it isn't anyone's fault. She took them, and they may have wanted to believe she was over. I think everybody wants to like believe that their kid is doing better. Yeah, she would definitely forever regret leaving her in the house with them. I would too, for sure. I would never forgive myself. I would, and I think that's enough. Like, I feel like that's enough to have to deal with than having to deal with like charges because of it. And like, I can't really, I don't really know what the custody paper said, so I can't really make, you know, say what I feel about that. But I will say I think she did try. But it's pretty sad that Leilani couldn't even handle being a good mom for like the 2 hours that all right, I'm taking it as like the babysitter probably didn't start babysitting till like 8 or 9 o'clock, and she would probably walk over and pick Quentin Simon up. So Leilani only probably had like 2 hours or an hour even, that she had to watch the kids before the babysitter got there. You know what I mean? And it's pretty sad that she couldn't even handle like that little tiny bit of time to be a mom on her own before the babysitter got there. And it's just I think she's just a stone cold empty person, and I just I really anyone who can throw their own child in a dumpster is on the level of like people who do nasty shit to kids level for me. Like, if you can kill your kid and throw your own kid in the trash, I just have no, like, it's on the level of like bad for me. You know what I mean? Like, uh, I'm just sick over this, and I feel like it sounds like they may have. I mean, obviously, I don't know this, but it sounds like from the beginning they may have had some kind of evidence where they usually don't announce that they believe somebody is dead unless they have like a large amount of blood they found, or like brain matter. Like, for instance, Gannon Stalk, when he died, they announced they believed he was dead when they searched his room and found the big saturated blood pools. Hold on, let me plug my phone in real quick. I believe that sorry. I feel like that they probably had something early on, like the luminol, um, like the luminol, you know what I mean? Like a high velocity blood spatter or some kind of evidence that showed that she had hit him with something, or if his skeleton, trigger warning guys, but if his skeleton was found intact, which I've heard that he was found fairly intact, they would be able to tell if he had like skull fractures or things like that. So, you know, yeah, I don't know what the custody arrangement exactly was either, but I mean, I would like to see it because my mind would change if it was like, but I do think she really tried to just keep the kids out of Leilani's hands as least as possible. I mean, at least with somebody else there with her. Hey, Dallas. But yeah, I just, I mean, I definitely think they have. I mean, this is going to be like an ace in the whole case, though, for sure. This amazing live bass fishing podcast. Strike cast. Nobody here would care. Well, my son loves watching fishing stuff. He watches that Catch 'em All guy. I forget his name. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta blow my nose. Sorry. He loves fishing stuff. He makes me go fishing all summer long, like every day of the summer. I think I was going fishing like 4 days out of the 5 days a week before he would go to his dad's. Every day. Can we go fishing? I'm like, or either that or frog hunting at night with lamps on our heads. But yeah, I think this is going to be an easy case. I think that them finding this body really like solidified it, because now she was saying at first, oh, I was just throwing household trash in the dumpster, which once you find that body, then you can no longer say, hey, I was throwing out household trash because, he was at that landfill where that dumpster goes. So, but I had a feeling it was going to be this bad, though. Like, yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit of a cold for sure. Nothing bad, but just the weather's like, I think everybody's getting a cold right now. Everyone I talk to is like a cold. I get like this all winter though. I have bad sinuses in general, but it's like in the summer it's allergies, and then in the winter it's like dry heat. And oh yeah, we go fishing all the damn time. Sorry, I just saw something that sparked my interest in the screen. You play a drinking game on Shreycast. I'm a bit tipsy. Oh wow, well that sounds fun. I'm sure Jose Baez is calling already, right? He only accepts sexual favors, though. No, I'm kidding. But did you know both the sororities, the girls in Idaho, were on probation for hazing? That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I never believed it was an accident, that girl, ever. Like, I always felt like it was some kind of abuse thing, or she had done it maliciously. Especially after I saw that interview with Billy Joe and her, and she was like, I'm just hoping. It was so fake, and she's like, I'm just hoping that some, and I feel like, all right, so Chronicles of Olivia had just done a video interviewing all of the protesters, and a lot of them said that they couldn't have babies and that they would have loved to have taken him. And I feel like she had watched that because it was like right after that, and then she was like, I just really hope somebody who couldn't have a baby is took him and is taking care of him and feeding him. And it was just so fake. And I feel like you could even tell that, Billy Joe had to like turn away because she was so mad, because you could just feel how fake it was. And when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this was no accident. She knows exactly what's going on. But I never felt like it was ever an accident or like a bathtub thing or anything like that. It's just super disappointing to actually hear it, though. You know, you think it, but then when it, like, comes out, you're hoping that it wouldn't be like that, and it is, so. But, I am gonna hop off. I didn't really plan to come on long tonight. We just decorated my tree tonight. I know, I'm so late to the decorating game. Everyone starts. Oh, yeah, I agree that girl, why she brought the Danny thing up. Yeah. I mean, she tried to pin it on everybody, though. She tried to pin it on Bubba. She tried to pin it on the babysitter, Danny. She was just, you know, this person, that person. But, oh, my eyes itching me. But, yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, I decorated my tree today. I'm always the person late to doing my Christmas decorations just because, like, I love Christmas, but I don't get super excited about, oh, something in my eye and it hurts. CD, is that a thing? CD, you can call it the CDC fam. You know what? I thought about that when I made my name. I was like, CDC, what a terrible, like, acronym, but whatever, it works. Oh, thanks, Abra. You're welcome, and I am so happy that you enjoy us and you're coming and checking me out all the time and supporting me. I really appreciate it. I know, I'm so sick and brokenhearted over this. I was at the mall when all this broke, so I didn't even get to listen to the press conference, which I'm going to go back and do. I should have played it, but I don't have the time for it tonight. But yeah, I will be back today, Wednesday. I'll be back Friday. Oh, and then the 21st, guys. I am so excited about this. I am hosting a creator panel where a bunch of creators are going to come on. That girl will be here, and Jen will be here, and Parker will be here. We're going to talk about John Bonet. I know, I am too. You know what? I was like, for sure, I thought that a couple people like wouldn't be able to do it because it's like around the holidays, but everybody was like, yeah, I can. This is so fun. So now we're gonna have like so many people, but it'll work. We're gonna talk about John Bonet, which I love the John Bonet case. I think anyone who loves true crime is just always puzzled with that case and really gets into it. I was a kid when it happened, but I remember everything, and I was young, and I remember like everyone watching it on TV, and it's always just sparked my interest. And Christmas Day, yeah, a lot of people are coming. Decipher's coming, Criminality's coming, Melissa Jade's coming, Jen Lou's coming. Joneson said she'll be there. I know Alex Erickson should be coming. Jen, Parker, a bunch of people. We got a whole bunch of people coming. So it's going to be a bunch of creators, just, you know, like round table, John Bonet Ramsey talk, and such a good Christmas case, I feel like. So it's going to be like a Christmas special. I'm going to be giving away a gift card that night to one of my members, and it'll be like a fun, you know, Christmas party. And of course, I can, you know, if people hop down or whatever, we can leave the panel open. Yeah, Queen Bee might be coming too. She said she might be traveling, but she'll try and figure it out. And I'll leave the panel open so other people can come up too if, you know, there's open spots. But it'll be a lot of fun, so don't miss it. 21st. It'll be a nice Christmas party, good time. All right. Good night, everyone. And you're more of a bandwagon guy. The old cases don't attract me much, I'll be honest. I'm in it for the hot takes on recent cases. Well, even if it's an old case, I'm telling you, it's an interesting case. It's definitely, because it's never been solved. So it's kind of just like still one of those whodunit cases. But And all the creators will be up here talking about it. So you should be there anyway, Ryan. All right, good night, guys. See ya. Thank you for coming, everyone.